In part 2 of the folio task, we're asked to look at a logistic function, and to begin with, I would suggest you analyse it with positive values of L, A and B. I was asked, should you consider a negative A, for instance, and I recommend that you do. So let's just look. If you check the settings and check your slider A, I've got mine minus 40 up to 100 using a step of 5. So when A is positive and L is positive and B is positive, let's make B a bit more. My scale is off the top. I'm expecting it to flatten out. Here it is, it's flattening out at 40. So because of the scale I've got, let's make L a bit less so that it shows on our screen. Here we go, that's a bit better. Alright, so now I'm going to leave, I'm going to put A negative. And you can see that it's swapped, and so it's got a vertical asymptote. So there's a point X, it's a bit hard to read, X point between point 2 and point 3, so the vertical line X equals 0.2 something is undefined. So let's just consider how to determine the vertical asymptote when we have a negative value for A. So let's just use the function, or consider the function f of x equals, let's put 20 for L, 1, and we're going to use a negative A. So let's use negative 10. E, let's use B as 1. Alright, so that's the minus x. So we're trying to determine the asymptotes, and so first of all, we're expecting the horizontal asymptote to be 20, and the way we do this is that if we have one take a number approaching 0, then you would say that the upper limit would be 20. So if we consider x is approaching an infinitely large positive number, then 10e to a huge negative positive number, so negative infinity, would be, I'll write the function out again, so if x is positive infinity, it will be e to the negative infinity, and instead of writing e to the negative infinity, we can write 10 over e to the positive infinity. 10 over a huge number approaches 0, and therefore the whole function is 20 over 1, and therefore that will approach 20. So the whole function, f of x, will approach 20 as x approaches positive infinity. Therefore the function will have a horizontal asymptote y equals 20. So now let's look at the vertical asymptote. There will be a vertical asymptote when the function is undefined. So the function will be undefined if the denominator is 0. So if we go back to our function 20 on 1 minus 10 to the e to the minus x, the denominator would be 0 when 10e to the minus x was 1. So let's consider 10e to the minus x. When will it equal 1? Well, it will equal 1 when 1 over e to the x equals 1/10. Now either x is positive and 10 is positive, so there's no hassles. We can say 10 equals e to the x. And if we take the natural log of both sides, then x will equal ln 10. And so x equals ln 10 is the vertical asymptote.